Hello and welcome to the Commander's Quarters, your Magic the Gathering source that helps you command your budget. This show and episodes like this one are possible thanks to viewers like you. If you're looking for an easy way to help support this show, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. Also, hit that bell notification icon so you don't miss any new episodes. You can also go check out our playmats and other merchandise at thecommandersquarters.com. We also have a ton of brand new t-shirt designs in stock, so make sure you check out those as well. Another easy way to support this show is with our TCG Player affiliate links. So whether you're buying a deck or individual cards, you can use this general link right here or one in the description. And the final way that you can support this show is by supporting us directly by becoming a patron. There are many benefits to being a patron, and I truly couldn't do this without all of their support. Hey everyone, Mitch coming in from the Commander's Quarters studio. Welcome to the show. So the official day one of Kamigawa Neon Dynasty spoiler season is finally here, and we've already gotten some really exciting cards. I mean, just earlier today we got what might be the weirdest card of all time. I'll give you just a little preview of it. It has the text, Legendary Artifact Creature Equipment Jellyfish. All on one line. Yeah, the reality chip is quite the strange card, and it's really exciting, so make sure you check that episode out at some point, but not before you stay tuned to this one, because if you left right now, I would be really sad. And you'd also be missing out on some of the biggest news in Magic in a long time, because we've got our very first Phyrexian Planeswalker, and well, it's a face that you might recognize and might be pretty sad to hear that this happened, so yeah, let's talk about Tamiyo Compleated Sage. So, Tamiyo has fallen to the dark side, one might say. Yeah, a Phyrexian Planeswalker. That is absolutely terrifying. And so is, well, some new things that we're getting with this card. Or, I guess I should say, not so new things that are returning that are scary. Let's just jump into the card and talk about it. So, Tamiyo is a legendary planeswalker, obviously, that starts off with 5 starting loyalty, and she costs 2 green, Simic Phyrexian, and blue. That's right, you heard me say the term Simic Phyrexian. Now, please correct me below in the comments if I am wrong on this, but I believe this is the very first time we are ever seeing a split mana cost for Phyrexian mana. So Phyrexian mana might be back in a big, broken, and pretty scary way. Now, for those of you that don't know, Phyrexian mana essentially can be paid with either 2 life or the mana represented in the symbol. So in this case, that Phyrexian Simic can be paid with either green, blue, or 2 life, which we actually see next to the word completed on the card. And completed is a brand new thing, and it is scary that this is a keyword. Oh, there are so many things moving forward that could be quite frightening. So completed means that essentially, if life was paid, this Planeswalker enters with 2 fewer loyalty counters. Basically, hey, yeah, we realize that you can cast this card for essentially cheaper. You know, life is an abundant resource, especially in a format like Commander. And when you do that, there's a small downside to this again, because you're getting that mana savings. Now again, the fact that completed has been keyworded could mean a couple of different things. Actually, I was discussing this with Eddie, and actually, thank you again, Eddie, for all the fantastic discussions during spoiler season, and yeah, there could definitely be some more Phyrexian Planeswalkers coming out in the future. I would not think in this set. I could be wrong on that, but I could see a trip to New Phyrexia or New Phyrexia or whatever coming at some point. And there might be even more Phyrexian Planeswalkers, because apparently the Phyrexians cracked the code in how to Phyrexianize, whatever you want to call it, a Planeswalker. So essentially, okay, again, for this card's purposes, at the end of the day, you can either cast this for 2 green, blue, and 2 life, and it only comes into play with 3 loyalty counters on it, or if you want all 5, you're going to pay 1 extra mana, that either being green or blue. And this can be a pretty powerful Planeswalker, so let's jump into those loyalty abilities. +1 is tap up to 1 target artifact or creature. It doesn't untap during its controller's next untap step. So this can shut down either an artifact or a creature for an entire turn. Its -X is exile target non-land permanent card with mana value X from your graveyard, create a token that's a copy of that card. Now, this saying non-land is pretty important because basically this can be a fantastic way to just ramp over and over again by getting lands essentially out of your graveyard basically for free. But yeah, that is specified right there, non-land. Still, that can give you a ton of value, getting non-land cards basically out of your graveyard right into play. And its -7 can be an incredibly impactful ultimate ability. Create Tamiyo's Notebook, a legendary colorless artifact token with spells you cast cost 2 less to cast, and tap, draw a card. Notably, yes, the token that it is making is legendary, so yeah, you can't just keep making more and more copies of it. That would be incredibly broken, maybe a lot of fun for some people, but incredibly broken. Still, even just having one of those out there is incredible. Reducing the cost of every single spell that you cast by 2 mana is huge, and also that notebook just being able to tap to draw you a card can be great as well. That being said, obviously this isn't an emblem or anything, it is on a token which can be destroyed or gotten rid of, and yeah, still a big payoff, but a somewhat risky-ish ultimate ability from a Planeswalker. That being said, I want to talk about one specific thing real quick that, again, this card actually existing is, well, bringing back up. Phyrexian mana has been considered to be an incredibly broken thing for a long time, and we haven't seen Phyrexian mana in a very long time. I mean, the most recent card that actually had Phyrexian mana on it came from a commander product with C19, and that was Crick, son of Yawgmoth. How do you say it? Crick? Correct me below in the comments, please. But yeah, I mean, again, Phyrexian mana has been gone for quite some time, only showing up again in a commander product, again, somewhat recently, back in C19, so it's even been some years since then. And now it's finally showing back up, but it's actually showing back up in a standard set. I mean, the last time that we saw Phyrexian mana show up in a standard set, or at all before Garruk, was in New Phyrexia, which came out a long time ago. In fact, I actually just looked it up. That was back in May of 2011, so that's over 10 years ago since we've seen Phyrexian mana in this way. And obviously, you know, Wizards maybe didn't realize at the time exactly how broken this was. I mean, Gitaxian Probe is an incredibly powerful card, and I believe banned in a couple of formats at least. But yeah, 1 blue Phyrexian mana to look at target player's hand, draw a card. And it was printed at a common. And actually, I just looked up, it is banned. Not only in Modern, but also obviously in Pauper, but even in Legacy, this common card is banned because Phyrexian mana is so incredibly powerful. I mean, obviously there are other powerful Phyrexian cards out there like Birthing Pod, which is also banned, I believe, in Modern, and then Noxus Revival, which is not banned, but an incredibly powerful card that I wish was more budget-friendly for a lot of decks. That being said, obviously the first time around with Phyrexian mana, Wizards probably didn't realize exactly how busted it was going to be, at least I hope they didn't. But yeah, I would think they're going to be a bit more cautious on where they use it and how much they use it. So even though we are seeing this on the brand new Tamiyo, I don't think that there are going to be any other cards in this set that have Phyrexian mana, but I could be very wrong on that. We might be seeing some more Phyrexian mana cards just popping up from set to set from now until when we eventually get to new Phyrexia or new Phyrexia or whatever it's going to be. But yeah, if I had to guess, and I am hoping it's going to be this way, they're going to be a little more cautious when it comes to Phyrexian mana on cards. That being said, obviously, like I already pointed out, this is already an evolution of Phyrexian mana. Again, with these cards, we've seen, you know, blue Phyrexian mana and green Phyrexian mana, but now in the new Tamiyo, we see Simic Phyrexian mana. So even more possibilities on more ways to make Phyrexian mana more broken. But yeah, when it comes to Tamiyo specifically, I mean, that ultimate can be incredibly effective. I mean, just think about cards like Ugin the Ineffable, Urza's Incubator, and the Immortal Sun. Ugin the Ineffable says, color spells you cast cost 2 less to cast, and this thing is an absolute house and artifact-specific decks. And then Urza's Incubator can also be incredibly impactful in tribal decks. It has, when it enters the battlefield, choose a creature type. Creature spells of the chosen type cost 2 less to cast. But again, keep in mind with each of those are for specific things. Again, for colorless spells like artifacts, or for specific creatures, you know, specific creature types, and yet these cards are still incredibly powerful. Whereas Tamiyo's ultimate affects all of your spells, not just specific ones, kind of more so along the lines of the Immortal Sun, which does a lot of things, but one thing that it does very well is it says spells you cast cost 1 less to cast, and Tamiyo's Notebook is going to be even better than that, again, reducing the cost by 2. And of course, on top of that, allowing you to tap it to draw a card. Yeah, luckily that thing is legendary. And obviously, in the right deck that can utilize that notebook to its fullest, you could also utilize some untap effects like, Dramatic Reversal, or Fellow Alchemist, or Unwinding Clock. Dramatic Reversal, which now just cost a blue mana with that notebook out, thanks to that reduction, says untap all non-lane permanents you control. So yeah, already a fantastic spell, it gets even better, and can help you tap that artifact again to draw again. And how about a repeatable untap effect like we see on a Fellow Alchemist, tap untap target artifact or creature. And speaking of repeat, yeah, Unwinding Clock in an artifact deck in combination with that notebook, have fun. It says untap all artifacts you control during each other player's untap step. So essentially in combination with that notebook, it's like, hey, not only do your spells cost 2 less to cast, but you can also draw a card on every single player's turn in a game like, Commander. That's gonna be 4 cards with 1 trip around the table. Now, obviously, this part of the discussion is kind of leaning heavily into an ultimate of a Planeswalker, which is not the easiest thing to get, but of course, in Commander, there are plenty of ways to get there pretty quickly. And of course, Doubling Season can get you there immediately. It does say if an effect would create 1 or more tokens under your control, it creates twice that many of those tokens instead, so that's actually pretty nice with Tamiyo's -X. But more importantly, it says if an effect would put 1 or more counters on a permanent you control, it puts twice that many of those counters on that permanent instead. So when Tamiyo comes down with 5 loyalty counters on her, now she has 10. Right away you can ultimate, just right then and there, and you still have 3 more counters still on Tamiyo to stick around. Obviously, keep in mind that if you actually, don't pay that Simic mana and you actually just pay Phyrexian mana, Tamiyo's going to come down 1 short, because she'd come down with 3, doubled up to 6. Now, another card that I want to bring up that either fortunately or unfortunately, Tamiyo can't actually go in a Karth deck, but Karth is in plenty of decks that Tamiyo can go in as well. Now, Karth does a lot of things for Planeswalkers, but the most impactful one is Planeswalkers' loyalty abilities you activate cost initial +1 to activate. Now, the first time you read that, it might sound like a bad thing, but it is very much a good thing. Essentially, this has implications for all of Tamiyo's activations. Her +1 becomes a +2, her -X basically becomes -X +1, and then her -7 basically becomes a -6. So again, Tamiyo comes down with 5 loyalty counters as long as she's not completed, or however that's said, I'm not sure, it's a new term. Anyways, 5 loyalty counters, you +1, which is now +2 to get her to 7. Then on the very next turn, you can ultimate, and it's going to still have Tamiyo stick around because it's going to be a -7, which is now a -6. So you go from 7 loyalty counters down to 1, and you get the ultimate on the next turn after you get Tamiyo out. So yeah, Karth can really help speed up things with Planeswalkers, especially on certain Planeswalkers ultimates. Now when it comes to commanders that might want Tamiyo, well, the first one that came to my mind, and actually kind of flavorfully it works very well, is Atraxa Praetor's Voice. Another Phyrexian card thingy. Anyways, Atraxa is a 4/4 that has Flying, Vigilance, Death Touch, and Lifelink, but most importantly at the beginning of your end step, Proliferate. So Atraxa is a very popular Super Friends commander because, well, proliferating with your Super Friends in play, Super Friends being Planeswalkers, helps you get more and more loyalty counters on them more quickly. And of course, with this kind of a deck, there's going to be a lot of other ways to proliferate, so yeah, you can ultimate Tamiyo very quickly with this commander. Next up, how about Essica, Gone of the Tree, or, okay, maybe should I say, the Prismatic Bridge? The Prismatic Bridge is a legendary enchantment for Wooburg that says at the beginning of your upkeep, reveal cards in the top of your library to reveal a creature or planeswalker card. Put that card on the battlefield and the rest of the bottom of your library in a random order. Basically, hey, at the beginning of your upkeep, you're getting a creature or planeswalker off the top of your library for free. So yeah, this is yet another very popular Super Friends commander out there. Again, this is 5 colors, giving you access to every single planeswalker and helping you get 1 help per turn for free. So yeah, the new Tamiyo could fit right in next to the other non-Phyrexian Tamiyos, which is kind of a sad thing. Anyways. Of course, yet another Super Friends commander that might want to consider Tamiyo is Sisay, Weatherlight Captain. She's a 2/2 that gets +1 for each color among other legendary permanents you control. By paying Wooburg, you search your library for a legendary permanent card with converted mana cost less than Sisay's power. Put that card on the battlefield, then shuffle your library. Basically, hey, get more things into play, grow Sisay's power, and then be able to tutor for pretty much whatever planeswalkers you want and get them right into play. Regardless, at the end of the day, there are plenty of Super Friends commanders out there that might want to consider this new Tamiyo. But now, as I am wrapping this episode up, it's time for me to give you my final thoughts on Tamiyo Compleated Sage. And my first thought on this is obviously frightening. The fact that there are probably going to be more Phyrexian planeswalkers coming out can be a very scary thing. And the fact that we are seeing not just a Phyrexian mana symbol on a new card, but a new kind of Phyrexian mana symbol, again being a Simic split, mana symbol, is pretty crazy. But overall, an exciting design for a Planeswalker, and I'm sure many players out there are going to be very excited. And also, many players out there who, Tamiyo might be one of their favorite characters, are going to be pretty sad about this. Regardless, though, one thing not to be sad about is that, again, Kamigawa Neon Dynasty official spoiler season has started, and yeah, we are seeing a lot of exciting cards, so make sure you stay tuned to this channel to make sure that you see the upcoming spoilers and quick takes that are going to be coming out. And with that, the show has come to a close, so it's my turn to hear from you. So in the comments below, let me know what your thoughts on this episode are, and as always, thank you again, and have a good one.